Hello guys and welcome back to The Facts with JJJ. For today's video, we've got another completely unscripted podcast-like recording video, which we recorded over Discord due to the coronavirus pandemic. In this video, we count down quite a lot of actors who we believe could have played the Joker in the past or could play him in the future. We go through so many ideas in this video, so it's quite a long one, but we do recommend sticking around till the end, because although we do talk about a lot of actors who you may have already envisioned as the Joker, we've came up with quite a lot of new ideas as well, which you may not have thought of. Thanks for watching and enjoy the video. I would argue that the most influential villain of all time is the Joker. He's iconic, and I genuinely think most people would recognise him because he's been around for so long. He's an amazing villain, and my favourite villain's Doctor Doom, and I really appreciate villains like Darth Vader and Thanos, but no one comes close to the Joker in terms of how much of an influence he's had over the world. Yeah. He's just an incredible character.
You love him. You love to hate him.
You love to hate him.
Everyone loves the Joker, and some people love him a bit too much and set him as the profile picture. Stop doing that, guys. It's 2020, stop. Like, don't do that. He needs to be cast perfectly, and I won't lie, if someone had told me 3 years ago that Joaquin Phoenix would have been playing Joker, I would have been like, no. And to be honest, a lot of people felt the same way about Heath Ledger. You've got to take a chance on some people, but, you know, not Jared Leto. Thing is, you would have thought Jared Leto would have done a better job than Joaquin and Heath Ledger, but some people are born to play the Joker. That's why today we're going to be talking through some Joker castings which we think could work in several different DC universes. When I was writing this list, I imagined 3 different DC universes. I'm not sure about you guys, but I was thinking the Joker universe, which exists with Joaquin Phoenix's film. Obviously, there doesn't need to be another Joker in that, and I really hope that stays standalone. Robert Pattinson's universe, which I'm hoping is going to be kept separate from the new DC universe, because I'd like to see Robert Pattinson's universe as more of just Batman on his own, fighting a different villain every film. Some villains like Dr. Freeze, Clayface, like some ones that I never really used, and then the DCU a bit more like an MCU kind of DC universe. That's what I was sort of thinking when I came up with some of these.
Okay. Yeah, that's like the 3 basic in it, so it's kind of the way you have to envision them when you're talking about it.
Yeah, that influenced some of my choices, so I just thought I'd mention it quickly. If you think some of our suggestions are bad, there are some genuinely terrible castings out there, and I took note of some when I was writing this video. The first 2 on the list, I wish were the worst. Rowan Atkinson and Jeff Goldblum. I can see why people thought that, but don't. Please don't ever think that. They both really don't suit the part. They loosely suit the part, but not really at all. Rowan Atkinson, in my opinion, doesn't suit the part at all. He's just a bit of a wacky character. But Jeff Goldblum, I can see a bit more, but the way he talks and the way he carries himself just isn't anything like the Joker.
I can see the Jeff Goldblum one more, but after you know stuff about Jeff Goldblum, it doesn't work. You see his personality, and I just don't think he could pull it off.
He's too lovable of a guy.
Yeah, that's true. You can't look at him and be like, that's the Joker. You just be like, that's Jeff Goldblum. That's not the Joker. The castings just kept getting worse, and I saw this one, and I was like, oh, that is terrible. Who would cast Johnny Knoxville as the Joker? Who decided to come up with that? But that isn't the worst one. There are 2 others, which I took note of, and I genuinely can't tell which is worse. Somebody decided to cast Miley Cyrus as the Joker, and other people want Joe Exotic to play the Joker. I don't know. I'm being serious. Johnny Knoxville, Joe Exotic, and Miley Cyrus are genuine castings. I have not made this up.
I don't believe that anybody in the right mind has gone, you know what? I reckon Joe Exotic could play the Joker.
I don't reckon he could play anyone.
He couldn't.
He's not an actor at all.
No.
And for some reason, somebody cast Jared Leto as the Joker. I don't know why. I don't see where they were going with that. I don't know. I'm going to kick off this list with an obvious one, which is one I'm extremely passionate about and honestly don't know why we haven't seen this yet. Willem Dafoe Joker is an amazing idea. He is just Joker material. People have wanted this for years, like for a very long time, and it still hasn't came to be. I imagine him more as the Arkham City game Joker, where he's got like the shorter hair, he's got the purple suit, and he was amazing as Green Goblin. He pulled it off perfectly, and I really think that could translate well as a Joker.
He's a legendary actor. He's been in so many great films where his acting skills is just perfect. He could definitely pull off a Joker. You can see him in that makeup, wearing those clothes. Yeah. He's getting a bit older now, but I still think he'd make a great Joker.
He absolutely would.
I think he really looks the part, because when you think about Joker, a lot of people envision the Heath Ledger Joker, but you also envision the one like you said with the short hair and that. You can just see him in the part, and like even if you do a Google search of the Joker, I'm sure somewhere down there there'll just be Willem Dafoe.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone wants it.
There's a lot of great fan out of Willem
Yeah,
Dafoe's
the concept
Joker.
out of him as the Joker is really good. I imagine him more as the comic Joker. Like Mark Hamill's Joker in the cartoon, I imagine him a lot more like that kind of Joker. He was in The Lighthouse with Patterson, so he could be a good Joker for that franchise.
Yeah.
You know, they've got chemistry, they've done it before. That could work. And he's the kind of Joker I'd expect to see in Patterson's, like alongside, like I said, Dr. Freeze. Like that kind of comic book Joker, I think he could pull it off extremely well.
I think he could really pull off a Joker like the one in Gotham. Because I really
Obviously
like
a lot
that Joker.
older.
Yeah, obviously a lot older.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But like that kind of vibe, if you know what I mean.
I'd rather see him as more of a gangster Joker, you know what I mean? Not like Jared Leto, because he's fucking pathetic, but more like Jack Nicholson if he was a bit more like modern.
I think he was very old-fashioned even then, but I think he was more of a comical mafia kind of guy.
But done very well.
Oh, done extremely well.
Definitely.
Very well.
Dafoe's really menacing as well, and has played many like crazy roles, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that smile
which
is a
obviously-
Joker smile.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, so looking through casting, there's obviously a lot of different ones. And one that comes up as well is also Cillian Murphy, which is terrible. I do not like that for Joker. Obviously, I was looking at that and I was seeing how it would look, and it looked absolute shit. But it led me on to Paul Anderson. I do think that is a possibility. It seems like it wouldn't work, but it's kind of been growing on me, you know?
I've considered it for a long time, but I went off it because I don't think he's a good enough actor to play the Joker. He's a good actor, but I don't think he's good enough, and I think he's probably got the right body shape for it. The hair he has in Peaky Blinders is similar to certain versions of the Joker, so he could probably do it, but I just don't think he's on that scale of acting capabilities to pull off a Joker, personally.
I don't watch Peaky Blinders, but I've just googled him now, and I think he definitely could pull off the looks. Just looking at him now.
The way he acts in Peaky Blinders, you can kind of see a bit of it in him.
It's something to consider, yeah. Maybe for like a show, maybe for a DC show, he could probably be a good Joker, like Gotham or Titans or something like that.
Yeah, so nothing as mainstream as the DCEU or whatever.
So like in the Arrowverse or something.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd be up for that. I'd back that.
Yeah.
One that I came across, I think it's alright. It's good. I quite like it. Reese Wakefield, the actor who played the bad guy in the first Purge film. I think he could maybe pull off the looks. He's got a big smile, and obviously...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's got that Joker smile, and he's got, like, the capabilities of pulling off, like, a psychopath.
He looks
Yeah,
amazing for a young Joker, and I reckon alongside a young Harley Quinn, he could be amazing.
In the first Purge film, there's, like, a crazy girl that goes along with him. I'm not saying cast her as Harley Quinn, but, like, you can see, like, they can have that dynamic.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like it a lot.
He's not a massive well-known actor, which is kind of what you want.
He's not a massive actor, like, he's not a massive, like, household name, but he was in the first Purge film, which a lot of people have seen.
It's his smile that sells it for me. His smile and his
definitely.
face shape and his hair, he embodies the character.
Absolutely.
And I reckon if he could pull it off, he'd be amazing. Now I'm going to get this one out of the way because this is one, funnily enough, I've been thinking of since I was a kid. Like, I remember thinking about this as a child and I thought it was great. But as I've got older, I've started to realise maybe I'm not that much of a fan. Johnny Depp. I know both of you have considered this before. It's probably on both of your lists as well.
Yeah,
he's an
he is on my
incredible
list.
actor.
Yeah, he's definitely
You
on
give
mine.
him anything to play, he can play it. You could probably give him anything like a supervillain all the way to a hobo, and he could do it. As long as it's not Willy Wonka,
yeah.
he can pull it off perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
I still think he could pull off a good Willy Wonka, just not
He
that
definitely
one.
could. With better writing, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
When I say I've been thinking about this since I was a kid, I'm not joking, and I think that might have been inspired by seeing him play the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter
Yeah.
could work well
Yeah.
as a Joker, but that kind of Joker I don't think would work well in a Batman film or even a Batman show. You give that man anything, he can do it. But the one thing that makes me not want him to play the Joker is the fact he's so massive, and I don't think I'll be able to look at him and see him as a Joker. I think I'll only be able to see Johnny Depp and all the other amazing roles he's done. I love Johnny Depp, but he's just too big of an actor for me personally, and I think although he's capable of doing it, I think it's probably a role reserved for people with less of a fan base. But I would love to see him get a shot, and I do think seeing him would be interesting. Regardless, I'd probably enjoy his performance, so if that did happen, I wouldn't object.
I think he could definitely pull it off. He's good at playing someone who's gone off the rails a bit, but he's huge. He's a massive star at the minute.
He's one of the biggest actors around.
And he has been since the 90s, so he's just a huge actor.
Like, imagine if you was watching a Batman film, Leonardo DiCaprio's the Joker and Tom Cruise is Batman. Would you be able to take that seriously and watch it as a Batman film? A Johnny Depp Joker, a Tom Cruise Batman, that kind of popularity, they're just way too big.
When you put it into perspective like that, it shows that you know they could do it well, but it's not right for them. As you've just said, if you imagine all them as the characters, it just takes your mind off what's happening because you can just imagine them as their other characters.
obviously it's a completely different universe, but compare it to the MCU. Majority of the people who are in the MCU are small actors and get their fame from being in the MCU. And I think if you're going to build a cinematic universe, you need to take a page out of their book. Get people to portray your characters that no one can compare to another role. Like, Robert Downey Jr., he's been in a lot of things, but he wasn't big enough where you'd be like, oh, well, that's Robert Downey Jr., that's not Iron Man.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, as you say, you need to take a risk with something like that, because you know if you get the good actors in, the film's going to be good, but it's going to be too much.
I think that's kind of what happened with Heath Ledger as well. Like, he was known for his comedic roles in a couple of films, but apart from that, not much. But he was obviously great as the Joker, and that was his best role, and it gave him this, like, huge star status. Before that, he wasn't a huge star.
Right, so sticking with the actors that are massive, that we think could play the Joker, is Jim Carrey. I think everyone's thought about this before, at some point, and I think a big factor for this is because of his performance in The Mask.
Yeah,
for sure. And a lot of people see him in The Mask, and they can see him as a Joker. You can see it in him. It's the same with a lot of his other roles, but him playing a role so serious, but also comedic, it fits him, but I don't know if he could do it that well.
I object to that, because obviously, he played the Riddler in Burton's films, and the films get a bit of hate, but I think that was a good Riddler, and a lot of people envision his Joker being really, really wacky and more like a cartoon Joker. But he's one of those comedians where people think, he couldn't do a serious role, and he does one and blows out the water. And he's one of the people that changed the film industry's perception of comedians, because some of the films he did showed that comedians are real actors. And I wholeheartedly believe that he could have done Arthur Fleck equally as good as Joaquin Phoenix, because he's that good of an actor. I love him, but I'm not even being biased. I genuinely believe he has the capability to have a bit of comedy in there, but also pull off a very serious Joker like Joaquin.
I would like to see him try, and I do think he would be able to do it, but it's just like, when you haven't seen it, it's in your head that it's not going to work.
Yeah, I know what you mean as well. He's got that personality. He's got a great, crazy personality, but he can also do serious roles like Eternal Sunshine. I agree with Jacob. I think he could do it. I think he could pull it off really well.
It's the fact that it's a film, and you can't make hundreds of films trying out Johnny Depp, Jim Carrey. You just couldn't do it. And doing it, just firing out, testing the water so many times would ruin the character. Jared Leto really dinted the character, and a lot of people lost faith when that happened.
I think because of Jared Leto, it put a lot of people off it because of the amount of hate that Leto got for it.
I don't think we'll ever see a Jim Carrey Joker. There's a high chance we'll see Johnny Depp, and I think there's a high chance we'll see Willem Dafoe, but I don't think Carrey will do this in his lifetime.
No.
I've got one here, which I thought of maybe a month ago, and I thought that could work, but I'm not going to carry on thinking about it. But I did, and it has grown on me massively. I don't know whether you guys will instantly be like, oh, this is good, or whether you'll instantly be like, I don't like this, but you've got to think about it.
Okay.
A Joker, portrayed by Tom Hiddleston, I think could be amazing, because I was very unsure about this at first. But then I looked at some concept art of it, and it was the nail in the coffin. I know he can do it. And I think he is perfect to play Jared Leto's Joker. That kind of Joker. He looks the part. You can't deny that. He's got the hair. He's got the face shape. And he's the kind of Joker that I'd work well with a Harley Quinn. He's an amazing actor. And the mischievous elements of Loki, and all the elements of Loki, really, could work well as a Joker. Basically, I just think he's really good. And if you haven't seen any concept art of him, you've got to Google it, because it's amazing.
I've just looked at some concept art now, and it shows like how good he actually could be.
It's a really good concept, isn't it?
I'm just Googling it now, and this is before I've seen it. I cannot picture it. It's definitely got the acting capabilities. He's a great actor, I have no doubt. Maybe when I look at some concept art, I'll change my mind. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, okay, I do see it. Concept art really changes my mind.
There could be a Loki-type Joker that he could pull off, but I think seeing him alongside Harley Quinn, maybe more of a DCU Joker with a DCU Batman, I reckon he'd be great for that kind of universe.
Obviously, he's used to being in that type of environment as well, so it would probably help out a lot.
So, another casting that we've thought about quite a lot, I think. It's quite good. I could picture it. Glenn Howerton. He plays Dennis Reynolds in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Dennis Reynolds is some sort of sociopath or something, and he's got that menacing stare and is screaming in people's faces. I think he could pull it off. Not for a movie. Definitely not for a movie, but maybe in some sort of show. I think he'd be a good Joker.
I like the idea, but we've envisioned him and cast him as Two-Face, and I think he'd be better at playing Harvey Dent because Dennis goes from Dennis to Angry Dennis very quickly, and with Harvey Dent, he goes from Harvey to Two-Face, and I think the anger Glenn portrays in that show is more similar to Two-Face's because Two-Face just loses it and he goes mental about things, where the Joker doesn't go mental about things. He's insane, but is more trying to have a good time with it. Glenn Howerton's acting capabilities, I don't think he could play the Joker. He's a good actor, and I wish he was in more things and more serious roles, but I don't think he could pull off a Joker as well as a lot of other people could.
I think he's just yet to show us his potential. I'm sure he could play a serious role.
I do not really like that pick. I don't know if it's because I obviously haven't finished It's Always Sunny like you two have, or if it's just I can't imagine it, but I don't think I can see it. I don't think I can see it working that well.
It might depend which episodes you've seen. There are some where his acting in it is great.
Obviously, it'd be completely different. If he played the role and I saw it, it could be insane, but for me personally, it just doesn't stick out.
I don't want to delve into Always Sunny too much, but as it goes along, Dennis gets more crazy, but the episodes decrease in quality. So it might be the fact that you haven't seen enough of his scenes, Jake, that doesn't push you to want to see him as a Joker.
It's probably definitely that. From where I'm at now, which is about halfway through, I can't really see it.
This is one that's been floating around for a while now, and I don't know if you guys have seen him in anything, but Penn Badley, he plays Joe in You, which has very similar tones to like Dexter. It's a serial killer show, and he's amazing. He's really, really good. He looks the part, and he's a great actor. There was one scene in particular where he's locked in a cage, and he starts laughing to himself, and he just looks so crazy and so much like the Joker, and I really do think he would be great. Probably in a show, probably not in a film. I reckon he could be good in Patterson's films or in a small show, but he's the kind of Joker where he'd be alongside Harley Quinn, like sort of bouncing off each other with their personalities. It's something I'd really like to see, and I think a lot of other people would as well.
I can definitely see it. I think he's definitely got the capabilities to do it.
I do think he's got the looks, actually. He's serious, but you can tell that he's kind of insane. I feel like he could definitely play a good Joker.
It's something I'd really like to see, and he's really popular at the minute, so I think there's heightened chances of him playing the character. If it happens, I'll really appreciate it. If it doesn't, I don't mind. It's one of those castings.
So something else I've seen. Obviously, a lot of people look at a really young Joker, but a lot of people have been looking at an older Joker as well. And a casting I've seen floating around is Mark Hamill.
That's crazy. I was just looking at Mark Hamill's name on my list.
I've got Mark Hamill on my list too.
Mark Hamill is the Joker. His voice and laugh is Joker, and I won't have it any other way. Say what we want about any other actor or any other voice actor, Mark Hamill has it in the bag.
Is perfect in every cartoon and game that he's played the character in. His voice and his laugh is just perfect for the character.
I think it'd be insane to see him as Joker, and I feel like he'd play it so well because he's such an experienced actor as well.
Like what I was saying earlier, I'm hoping for Patterson's films to delve more into the unknown villains and the villains that don't get much screen time in films. If they were to introduce those films with a Joker that has been terrorising Gotham for years, possibly even Arthur Flex if they want to tie it in and have someone play the old Joker, but if they sort of make out as if the Joker's sort of dying off now, no one really cares about him, new villains are rising up, and we got to see him in the Patterson films, seeing him as like an old, worn-out Joker who's past his prime and he's ready to go out in style, that could work. It's a very small part maybe, but that's the way I can imagine an old Joker playing a part in a film.
Yeah, he's been and gone and he's beaten down. He's still there, but he's not relevant.
Other people have taken his place, like the Riddler, and he probably has a lot of resentment for that, and he wants attention from Batman. That'd be an amazing thing to see.
And just the way he looks, because he looks like kind of rough, and he looks like he'll been doing it for years, but now like Batman's here and all that, and he wants to get involved.
This is a really cool concept. We've wrote the new Patterson films. Someone pick this up, man.
Another actor that played the Joker before, Zach Galifianakis. He played the Joker in the Lego Batman movie. I think in some way he could be not a serious Joker, but if there was some sort of television comedic version of the Joker.
I kind of imagine it as if he was like a TV presenter in that world. Like if the Joker was sort of a fictional character inside that world. Or maybe even a copycat Joker. Say if Batman hunted him down and it turned out he was just a different guy.
I do think he could play that type of Joker really well.
I just thought I'd mention him because I've seen it before and I thought it's not bad. It could work on some levels.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen his name thrown around a lot.
This is one which I think could have worked a while ago. And by a while ago, I mean 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
Not so much anymore. This pick is Tim Curry. This is a bit more of a serious one because he's played him in the animated shows, and I really think back in the day he'd have been a great Joker, but he's very ill at the minute. He suffered from a stroke and he's very old. I'd love to have seen him as a live-action Joker back in the day, maybe not so much anymore. But this led me to Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the new films. I was thinking he could probably play a Joker, but there are more twisted characters in both DC and Marvel, which I can imagine Bill playing. He's a great actor, and he has the Joker elements in the characters he plays, but they're just ones I thought I'd throw in. I'd prefer to see young Tim Curry as the Joker, but I also thought I'd mention Bill as well.
I'd have loved to see Tim Curry as the Joker, but obviously the time for that's past. He's not very well anymore, but he's a great actor, and that would have been great to see. Another one that I think it might have worked, I don't know. He's played serious characters, but he's also played a lot of comedic characters. And it would have worked more in his younger years than now. Steve Buscemi.
Right.
And I know you might laugh and pass that off as a stupid suggestion, but he's played many characters that are sort of like losers and outcasts and crazy. I could see it. I could see 10 to 20 years ago, I could see it. I could see him playing a Joker.
I considered it when I was writing this list, but like we were saying with Johnny Depp, like, oh, he's too popular. It'd take people out of the film. Steve Buscemi is just a joke. He's a bit more of a joke now than a serious actor.
He is more of a joke now, which is why I wouldn't like to see it nowadays, but a bit ago, I think it could have worked.
I honestly think this list and this video is one of my favourites that we've done. We've been wanting to do this for a long time and have never got round to it, but I've really enjoyed this, and I really think we've came up with some great ideas for this.
The Joker leaves a great legacy, and there are a lot of great actors talked about today that could definitely fill the role extremely well.
Sort of give us something new and fresh as well, like Jim Carrey would give us something completely different, and Mark Hamill would be completely different, shake it up, you know. Maybe that'd be good for the character. Overall, I'm really, really excited to see what they do in Patterson and the new DCU, all these new universes they're coming up with. I really hope they do the Joker justice, and I'm up for seeing as many Joker films and shows as possible, as long as they maintain the quality. So thank you guys for watching this video, and we hope you did enjoy. Feel free to like the video, and you can always subscribe. It's completely free, and it really, really helps our small channel like us. Leave all your opinions in the comments down below, and we'll get back to you there. If you hated any of our picks, or if you loved any of our picks, we'd love to know absolutely everything you have to say. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you again on The Facts with JJJ.